welcome back to my channel. It's Carly from Beautiful on a Budget, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get this look. This is my natural full coverage foundation look that I wear to work every single day or on the weekends when I'm doing something. I've really strayed away from eyeshadow lately, mainly because I'm always running late, and that takes probably an extra 15 to 20 minutes because I'm so OCD and I blend until no tomorrow. So this is how I wear my makeup. It does take a little bit longer. There are a lot of extra steps that you could probably cut out, but I myself am extra, so I do them. But yeah, I'm about to head off to the Dave Matthews Band concert, and it is 4 o'clock right now on the dot, and I just did my makeup. It will literally last you until tomorrow morning should you need to. Like days that I've accidentally fallen asleep in my makeup and I've had it on since the morning before for work, I've woken up the next day and been like, I could go to work right now. That's gross. I haven't done that in a really long time. When I was in college, maybe, but I wasn't wearing this much makeup then. So yeah, this look, if you follow the steps in the blog post linked down below, the steps that I talk about in the video, you're sure to achieve a natural, full coverage foundation look that is absolutely flawless, looks airbrushed, seamlessly flows together, and will stay until tomorrow morning. No creases. So let's get right into it. This is before my makeup, before I start anything. I got a facial this morning, so I have a few places where she did extractions that are red and inflamed and irritated. So just ignore that, but I'm going to be showing you how I do my everyday makeup look. So let's get started. So first I start with Dr. Pawpaw's or any lip balm for that matter. I just do this to obviously keep my lips moisturized, but when applying foundation, it helps them stay a little bit more clean, easier to get the foundation off afterwards. Going with Soap & Glory's One Heck of a Blot, and I'm running low on mine. I just take about that much and rub it all over my face. I also just self-tan, so I apologize if there's any weird streaks on my neck or arms or hands or whatever. Alright, so after, I'm also going to be like looking down at my makeup mirror, so I'm going to try not to. After I use my primer, I then go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water and just kind of set the primer, essentially. So then I take my damp beauty blender. Any beauty sponge will work that works for you. And today I'm going to be using the NARS Natural Radiant like Pro Longwear Foundation. As you can tell, I've used a lot of it. And I will just take 4 drops on the back of my sponge and just dab it in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go and I blend it in. So usually those 4 dots can really get the whole bottom half of my face as well as some of my forehead. So now, because I need to get my neck, make sure it blends all the way down and the rest of my forehead, I'll take 2 more pumps and I'll go back in starting on my forehead. 2 dabs, and then take this immediately and just work it down your neck. For my concealer, I use Tarte Shape Tape, and I've learned that this stuff goes a long way, so I like to just put it under my eyes right in the inner corner, and then it'll blend out because it is so thick, but I also use a different concealer all over my face. So I start with just a little bit right here. right there. And you shouldn't have to dip your brush back in there. I love this applicator. I love this concealer. This is my second bottle in a year, so it lasts. And my newest obsession is Maybelline Age Rewind. I am absolutely obsessed with this concealer. I think it's awesome. I think it's underrated. I don't think enough people love it, and they should. And so I take this and I kind of finish out my face. So I'll take it and kind of finish out that triangle underneath my eyes to highlight and just get a little bit of extra coverage. Cupid's bow, chin, bridge of my nose, and my forehead. Just blend it in. Next up, I start the baking process, and I just wrote a blog post, which I will include in the bio down below, that talks about how to get flawless foundation. It goes more into depth. I talk more about the priming, the prepping, the skincare, the foundation, the concealer, and the setting, and then the finishing with the spray. I go really in depth with all that, so I'll post that down below. But I'm getting this everywhere. I don't have pants on. This is the stuff I use. Literally amazing. It's basically a dupe for Laura Mercier translucent powder. So then I take in the cap my damp beauty sponge, gather some, pull that dog hair out because that does not usually bake into my face, and then I just place it right underneath, keeping that excess. The first layer, which I talk about in that blog post, if you want to pause this, read it, come back, is basically just to really set it, and then I bake with a different powder just because I love this. This is kind of the color that I want to keep on my face, but the other one does a better job. Ooh. The other one does a better job at baking. This one is a great setting powder. You can bake with it too, it does fine, but I'm like trying to be cake face over here. So then take the next powder, Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder. This is literally what it's for. This is the shade Banana, but Lace is great as well if you want something lighter. This definitely does have a lot more pigment to it, whereas the other one, Lace, is very translucent. So if you had to just get one powder, I love the Maybelline Fit Me, but the Makeup Revolution one in Lace would be great if you're either darker skin tone and Banana doesn't look good on you, or you're lighter skin tone and you don't want that yellow pigmentation. So now I take my same damp beauty sponge into the same cap of the Maybelline Fit Me, but I poured the other powder in here, and I heavily bake under my eyes with this. Like, pack that stuff in there so it looks crazy right now, I know, but you're gonna let this sit there. Take some more powder, take my chin. This is always an oily area, and then my T-zone up here. Just kind of press this in. I'm gonna put powder all over my face anyways to set it. Even though some foundations don't need it, I always do it just because that's what makes it last so long. And I'll put a little on my nose. I don't press too hard. I try not to put too much product on my nose, just because the more you put on there, the more likely it is to come off. So I know this is a lot, but trust me, we're gonna brush it off. So then you'll take, if there's any powder left over, or if you wanna go back with the Maybelline powder, and you'll just take like a face brush, dip it into the powder, and in circular motions, powder the whole face. Very lightly, you don't wanna apply this too hard. Sorry if I'm looking into the viewfinder, I'm just kind of using it as a mirror. Make sure you go down your neck, forehead. I press in more than wipe just because the least amount of product is up here and it might come off. So then you go underneath the eyes and you brush this away and kind of blend it into the skin. Make sure you get every part because you don't want anything to be sticky. You want your other powders that are going on your face to look good. Okay. Now this step is optional. It's completely up to you how much powder you want on your face. For me, I love doing this just as an extra step to kind of give my whole face the same color, to add any extra coverage should it need it. It's just a pressed powder. This is the Hello Flawless by Benefit. You can use any pressed powder that you like. I take the same brush, swirl it around in there, dab it in, and then I just press this product into my face. I avoid my under eye area, I want that to remain bright. But this just kind of evens out the tone if any of the powder that you were just lightly dusting on your face didn't get somewhere, or you just want some extra coverage. And right now I am doing a full coverage look, but I don't know if you can tell. You can kind of still see my freckles a little bit through it, which doesn't bother me because it is spring, summer, whatever the heck you want to call it. It's technically spring here, I think, but you wouldn't know by the weather outside. We completely skipped that season here in Georgia. Now this is the next step that I say is like my holy grail. I can't not do this step in my makeup. It's a hot mess right now. The NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. One day I was doing my makeup and I was out of my usual setting sprays and I had some of this left and I was like, wow, I feel my face looks extra powdery today. Like, let's just see if this really actually works. You know, it's like a $4 bottle of setting spray from NYX. Like, love some of their products, but you know, some don't work. And I sprayed it all over my face and then I went in with a beauty blender all over and I swear to you, everything just melted together. And I know my setting sprays that I've used before work, but I've never like paid that much attention, excuse me, to see if it actually like does that good of a job. And now I know that this stuff does, and I will never be caught without it. Just trust me on this, like it's totally worth it and it's really cheap. So, douse your face in it like you're going to run out of it. Take your beauty blender, same one, and just lightly go over your entire face. This is going to kind of melt everything together, not adding any extra product. It's helping that setting spray really get in. Any powders that are on your face are just going to settle and all go together flawlessly. That's my trick. That is my holy grail. And I can't not do that. And that's what I do basically after every, need some more lip balm. Trying to avoid the whole I just ate a powdered donut look while filming this. But that's my trick. After every layer of powder now, I will spray and dab because it just like kind of melts it all together and it looks like you have your makeup airbrushed on. It doesn't look like, oh, there's blush, there's the contour. It just all like really flows together. So that is my secret that I'm letting you know about that you need to take advantage of. On to the contour. I bought this for some reason and I don't know why, but I love it and I will never not use it now. It's the Makeup Revolution Ultra Bronze palette. I think it was like $4. Clearly I'm putting it to good use. It's great. I use it for 2 steps and I know this is like super extra, but whatever, it's me. I just take a brush like this. This is the Morphe M523. I don't like too thin or chiseled of a contour brush because I don't want a really, really harsh line, and I don't want to have to do a lot of blending. So this is the best thing because it's like got that flat head, but it's like also blending while contouring, if that makes sense. So I just dab it into any bronzer or contour shade, whatever. This just works well for me. And I make the kissy face and I just chisel away. Now I go in with probably one of the greatest palettes of all time. I will never be without this palette again. I purchased it because Casey Holmes liked it, so if she likes something, I buy it. That's basically my rule in life. This is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess face palette. Does this just like not scream luxury? You probably can't see it because of the light, but love it. Smells like chocolate, so if you like chocolate, you'll like this palette, but beware, may cause cravings. I go in with this Real Techniques. This is a contour brush per their whatever. And I use it to kind of contour, kind of bronze. I don't really know why I do this step. It's just because I'm extra and I want to use all my really nice products and my really like drugstore products. So I just do this. I don't know if it actually does anything, but I like it, so that's why I do it. And I go in with Carrot right here. This is what I do when I'm darker. Princess Cut is also great, as well as Angle. And then Crown, I haven't touched it because I am pale AF and that will look stupid on me. So I just dab into the product, wiggle it around, tap off excess. That is key with contour powders. And I'm not gonna go in like this like a contour. I'm gonna blend this line in and kind of deepen it with this. I use that Makeup Revolution bronzing powder as like a base and a guide, and then I go in with this just to like really give that chiseled but not too sharp contour, but also baby bronze. A little bit of bronzer up in there. So I forgot to do this the first time, but I take, this is just like a deluxe crease brush from Real Techniques, round. Instead of taking a flat brush and contouring my nose, this basically kills two birds with one stone because I'm contouring but blending at the same time. So I just go down the bridges of my nose, or down the bridge of my nose on either side and right underneath with a little bit of powder in a circular motion. And then I just take the excess onto my lids if I'm not going to be wearing eyeshadow. So just swirling it around, blending it in. And now you're Kim Kardashian. Just kidding. So you can stop here if you want as far as contour goes and just kind of blend this in more, or you can take it up a notch like I do and be extra AF. And I take this, it's a blush brush, but I use it as my all over bronzing brush. Take it in with this, swirl it around, tap, and go to town. And I go in with this Luxie brush. This is a precision foundation brush, and it's basically like the one that I contoured with at first. But anything that's like flat and really precise, and you're gonna put a pressed brightening powder under your eyes. This is gonna make sure that all the powders that you just put on your face haven't crept up in that inner corner and made it really dark. You wanna brighten your eyes, you wanna open up your face and your look, and this is gonna help. So you'll just take this brush and you'll use Enhance. This has a yellow undertone. I have really neutral skin tone, so I can go with a pink or a yellow undertone, but when it comes to under my eyes, I go for a yellow. So I just dab it in to the powder a few times, and then just straight underneath, I just dab. And then I just kind of bring it out, really concentrate it close to the lash line, and then bring it out like a triangle. My nose itches. And that helps if any powder kind of crept up in there, or really cut that triangle off. This way, takes it back and really opens it up. And then you can also take a little bit and kind of go in a V triangle formation up to your forehead, just in case you closed it in a little bit too much and you want to brighten that back up. I will just take the first brush that I went in for my translucent powder and just kind of go around and blend it and make sure that everything is blended perfectly and there's no harsh lines. Next up is blush. Apparently people have stopped wearing blush, but I think it's VV important. Definitely makes you look alive. Ignore my crazy hair. I feel like it's getting crazy. I've been loving using, what is it? Oh, the Flower Beauty blush. And I've had one of the Tarte like Amazonian clay blushes before, and I liked it, but I just forgot about it. And I just got this new one in like a kit thing that I ordered, and this is the shade Tipsy, and it's claimed to be a 12-hour blush, and let me tell you, it is. So I go in with this It Cosmetics Airbrush Blush Brush, or it just says Airbrush Blush, and I just dab it into the blush a few times, tap it off, and I apply it very lightly, and I go more, like I get heavier as I go because of less product, and then I build it up, but you can't like go back and take this off, so be careful. And I smile when I do this and I look like a freak. I will say, while this is very pigmented in the pan, it's not the most pigmented right off the bat. It's definitely buildable, which is nice, but it takes a little bit longer. You have to go in with a little bit more product. Once you're done smiling and looking like a crazy clown, I go back in with the same brush and just kind of blend it in. Tone it down a bit. That kind of blends it all in. So it's just right now a little bit of a flush, makes me look alive and awake. More setting spray, this is key. Really just douse yourself in it, and then let it all sink in. Press it into the skin. I bought this recently, and it's the Wet n Wild loose highlighting powder in Moon Tears. If you're out of highlighter and you need a new one, buy this, because you will never ever have to buy a highlighter ever again in your entire life. And I'll tell you why. This is literally filled to the brim with highlighter, and you only need a little bit because this shit is powerful AF. So as you can see, there's a lot in here and a lot already up here. So I tap it off the top because I use this to kind of swirl around in, and honestly it's like dust that's in there. I just swirl my brush in there, and this is a tapered highlighter brush from Luxie, and I go down the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and my chin. This is the least amount of highlighter possible. just for a subtle glow. And if you want a little more, just lightly dab and then swirl and tap. We're going in the cheekbone highlight. For me, I really concentrate my highlight kind of on this V right here. I'm gonna make sure it's really blended in to look natural. I mean, look at that glow. I'm proud. And this is just like a $5 highlighter. Soup's impressed, y'all. I feel like all the money I spent on really expensive highlighters or palettes was kind of worthless because now I have this one that I use every day because it's so powerful. And then I just take a little bit up here, very light, very minimal. All right. And then if you want to kind of tone it down a little bit, you can go back in with the brush and kind of dab it in if you feel like it's too blinding, but honestly, like the more blinding, the better, in my opinion. And if you want, you can do another little spritz before you start your brows. Okay, now my brows take like 100 years to do as of right now. I'm going to get them microbladed, I think next week, so they won't take so much time, but I'm gonna do them off camera and I will film an entirely separate different video on how I do my brows. Oh, I'm scared to talk when I do this. You don't wanna go too far down and you don't wanna stay too far up, and you really wanna work on getting this position right so it's not like you crimp them at a 90-degree angle and it looks like your brow or your lashes are just shooting up. There we go, curled. And then I've been loving the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer. And I'll just go in. God, you look so awkward when you do this, Chloe. And third person. And I basically just use this because I feel like it makes the mascara stay longer, better. Kind of makes my lashes fuller and longer too. And then I just let it sit for a second and get tacky. That way the mascara sticks to it better. And I love Essence mascara. This is the green one, the Lash Princess. But the purple one, same thing, but is a volume one, is equally as good. They're like $4 each, and you really can't beat it. So this is the applicator on this mascara. And I use this just to really coat all of my lashes. And I'm that girl that uses more than one mascara, and you might not have to. I really don't have to, but I do it anyways. My mom's trying to call me right now. Make sure that every lash is covered. And I go in on the other eye. I'm finishing it off with Maybelline Total Temptation mascara. And this brush is Bomb AF. Bomb AF, love it. And this is just quick, going over all of them, kind of adds a little bit more volume, separates those lashes out, and I feel like, to me, kind of gives a false lash effect and tapers out my lashes. And then I'll just do a little bit on the bottom. And that's it. This is the finished look. This is how I do my everyday makeup. I call it my natural full coverage look. Basically, I just don't wear eyeshadow. I full coverage face, but still like pretty natural-like to me. Heavy air quotes on the natural. And I just added the NARS Power Matte Lip Pigment. This stuff is amazing. It actually stays all day long. After a while, it's not transferable. It's not too tight. It doesn't crack. It doesn't fill in those lines on your lips. It's probably the most amazing matte liquid lipstick that I have ever used, aside from my Lip Sense, my little gypsy girls back here, if you can see her. So yeah, I am now headed off to the Dave Matthews Band concert, and this is my look for the evening. I think Gypsy approves. She's been waiting to have this seat back. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my tutorial on how to get this look. Make sure to check out the blog post link down below to get more in-depth tips about my baking and things like that, to make sure you have a flawless, creaseless foundation look that stays until the next morning if you need it to. Thanks guys, make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.